Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Here's the bottom line. The globalists like to dumb stuff down to war on terror or countdown to meltdown. Here's the real headline. Western forces battle Russian forces over control of Russian oil and gas infrastructure. That's what's going on. And so our media goes, oh, no, there's no forces or NATO, even though they're admittedly there fighting with Russians. And the Russians are like, oh, there's no, we're not either. But if you attack our forces openly or come up and attack Russian forces that are inside Russia, we got nuclear weapons. That is such a huge escalation, Putin putting nuclear weapons on the table. The video is up on Infowars.com right now. Video. Nuclear Putin says don't mess with Russia. We have the 2-hour, 30-minute video up there of his full meet and greet and talking to college students and youth groups. But before we, I mean that's important. You guys found the time code. We should probably go note in our article where the time code is so folks can skip ahead to that. And then we're going to excise out the very video for other news sites and people that probably want it and have that up on Infowars.com the next 20, 30 minutes. Got Buckley in there working on it right now, doing a great job. Man, let's go to one call before Ray McGovern comes on. And at the bottom of the hour, I will go to Chris, Will, Chris, John, and others. Let's go to Greg in Arizona in this short segment. What's your take on this? I mean, I guess I'm supposed to be patriotic and do what the occupied government says and support stealing the Russian oil and gas infrastructure that they built in eastern Ukraine that they have contracts on. And I should support the ethnic cleansing of the Russian majority there. And I should support nuclear war. So I want to say I do. And I support 2 + 2 = 5. And I didn't build InfoWars like Obama said. I did nothing. I didn't get up this morning. I didn't. I just didn't do anything. Just fairness doctrine in radio is back now. So I want to be fair a little bit there. Sorry. Go ahead, Greg.
Hi, Alex. I'm from Lake Havasu City, Arizona, and I'm a first-time caller. I've been listening to your show for, over a year. I've been calling in. It's the first time I actually got through. I think it's a disgrace what we're doing over there and what's going on. And I think it's all funded by the Bilderbergs and all these people with money.
It definitely is. Bilderberg has been saying they're going to take down Russia. And it's not that Russia's great. It's just that they're not starting anything. It's like if I don't even like my neighbor, I can't go over and punch him in the nose or take his car. And then if he comes out and fights me for it, oh, you're fighting me. I just overthrew the Ukrainian government, started a war with you. I'm moving missiles up to your borders. How dare you not love me? How dare you? And again, you're saying a disgrace. Look at how our so-called government's funding Al-Qaeda. Go ahead.
It's ridiculous. And as far as what's his face, the guy that's come over here to ruin our country,
Soros.
You know, Soros.
Yeah, the Nazi collaborator.
Yeah. How does he get away with staying in our country and doing all this stuff?
Well, I mean, he would hunt down Jews that were hiding. He knew where they would hide and how they'd hide their money, and then he'd transfer it to the Nazis, and he got a big nest egg out of it. And I mean, that's just. I mean, look, if you're Schwarzenegger and say you love Hitler on video, you get an ADL award. If you actually helped hunt down Jews en masse, you get worshipped by the ADLs. But if you fight Nazis, you get demonized by them. And the ADL attacks me. MSNBC says I'm deeply racist and shows no proof. 2 + 2 = 5, bro. You didn't know that?
Yeah, he does live in America, right?
He sure does. But no, they're always hunting some fake old man Nazi jail guard, and it never turns out to actually be a Nazi jail guard. It's always some Eastern European, who can't prove anything and is like 92 and can't talk. And they'll roll out some deaf man and go, he's a Nazi. Look, we're hunting him down. When they brought 36,000 Nazis to the U.S. to run the universities, the government, NASA, everything. Everything. Look, we found a 94-year-old blind guy who we called us a Nazi. Oh, yeah, right.
The government's Department of Homeland Security is buying up loads of ammo. At the same time, they're restricting civilians' rights to own and purchase firearms. Can you put 2 and 2 together? Infidel Body Armor can stop every round, including hollow points and .308 sniper rounds. Is reasonably priced and fully legal. But for how long? Go to InfidelBodyArmor.com, spelled INFIDEL bodyarmor.com. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
I'm David Hall, founder of Diamond Gusset, where we are proud of our 100% grown and sewn American-made jeans. Whether you're out for dinner, working on the farm, or on the road, Diamond Gusset Jeans offers a full spectrum of style and sizes for any occasion. Our loyal customers enable us to continue sponsoring Liberty Media outlets. Use promo code FREEDOM to receive a 15% discount at gusset.com. In Liberty, David Hall, Diamond Gusset Jean Company.
Another major health threat, this one in Toledo, Ohio, where everybody in the entire city has been told not to drink the water.
Ohio's governor declaring a state of emergency.
Did you know that the average person uses about 80 to 100 gallons of water at home every single day? If there's a water emergency, will you be prepared?
Panicked residents forming long lines throughout the day.
We're here at a supermarket in Toledo. You can see the shelves empty where water once was.
To stay safe and healthy during a crisis, you must have access to safe, clean water. Water which will not be available at your local grocery store.
There's a mad dash on right now to stock up on supplies.
The ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system is a must-have for every modern, independently minded household. Protect your family's safety during an emergency. Go to InfoWarsStore.com today to purchase your ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system or call 1-888-253-3139.
I began to get into iodine a few years ago because it was helping me and my family so much get healthy and detoxify. Most people know that iodine deficiency has been a crisis around the world. Iodine is key to so many of the body's functions, especially the thyroid. I discovered a product being developed by Dr. Group. You now know it as Survival Shield True Nascent Iodine that your body can really absorb. Then, about a year ago, he said, listen, if you think this is powerful, I'm going to come out with rare earth, deep earth crystals. And the results that I personally have had have been life-changing. Nobody else has got iodine based on these pure crystals, ladies and gentlemen. This is innovating, and the best part is it helps fund Infowars.com, the radio show, the TV show, the whole media operation promoting true libertarian ideas. For a limited time, experience the ancient power of Survival Shield X2. Take advantage of this unprecedented 30% off Super Detox special at InfoWarsLife.com.
Renewed hostile actions against United States ships on the high seas and the Gulf of Tonkin have today required me to order the military forces of the United States to take action in reply.
Dr. Martin Luther King, the apostle of nonviolence in the civil rights movement, has been shot to death in Memphis, Tennessee.
Senator Kennedy has been shot. Is that possible? He still has the gun. The gun is pointed at me right at this moment. Take a hold of his thumb and break it if you have to. We have done his function and we are defending and we agree. Let's triumph it.
People calling themselves members of the Weather Underground last night planted bombs in federal office buildings in Washington and Oakland, California.
They took the babies out of the incubators and left the children to die on the cold floor.
Survivors of the USS Liberty are demanding a congressional investigation into what happened, an acknowledgement that the Israeli Air Force bombed a U.S. intelligence Navy ship.
The death of bin Laden marks the most significant achievement to date in our nation's effort to defeat al-Qaeda.
The Taliban is taking responsibility for shooting down a U.S. helicopter. More than 30 people were killed, and there are reports this morning that most of them are U.S. Navy SEALs.
There may be a false flag incident where some ship goes down and you be used for the excuse to accelerate the next war.
If there's one thing that has unified Democrats and Republicans, and everybody in between, is that we all hated the bank bailout.
The Department of Homeland Security is apparently on a huge ammo buying spree.
It comes out to like 1.6 billion rounds of ammunition.
Today, it is infinitely easier to kill 1 million people than to control 1 million people.
They estimated that they would have to eliminate 25 million people in these re-education centers. And when I say eliminate, I mean kill.
I'm here to warn people. You keep telling me to shut up. This isn't a game.
From the front lines of the information war, it's Alex Jones.
We're now well into the second hour. We aired the false flag intro there to point out that most wars or escalations of wars are launched by staged provocations by the Russians, the Nazis, the U.S. government. This is something done since the times of the Romans. Ray McGovern has graciously come on short notice because of the global crisis. I could not think of a better guest to have on concerning this. Just 2 weeks ago, we played the clip yesterday, he broke down how this could lead to nuclear war. I wanted to be able to flesh that out a little bit better today because we're up against a time constraint and he had to go. So I want to be able to get into more detail. He's a native of New York, Washington, is the early 60s as an Army infantry intelligence officer. He served as a CIA analyst for the administration of John F. Kennedy to that of George H.W. Bush. Ray briefed one-on-one President Ronald Reagan, most senior national security advisor from 81 to 85, was one of their favorite morning briefers. Point is, he knows what he's talking about in a wide spectrum. Fluent in Russian, German, and Spanish, Ray holds an MA in Russian from Fordham University and Certificate of Theological Studies from Georgetown. He's also a graduate of Harvard Business School Advanced Management Program. He holds a certificate in Theology Studies from Georgetown University. RayMcGovern.com. And the reason he's here today is we played the clip last hour. We're going to play it coming up in a few minutes. Putin has come out and said, listen, if you attack any of our forces or basically keep moving more forces in, we are going to, respond and defend ourselves. We are a nuclear power, but that's not a threat. Well, obviously, it is a threat. This is the doctrine they've had since 888 in 2008 when Western forces attacked Ossetia and South Ossetia and Abkhazia as a pretext to try to demonize Russia. And again, I've never been to Russia. I'm not defending Russia. I've studied it. They're not in an aggressive posture. The West is, and it's very dangerous. Just like when they wanted to take over the airport in Pristina, and the Russians said, no, we'll have a war with you. And it was only the head of NATO backing down that stopped that from going possibly nuclear. Here's the headline. Russia threatens nuclear attack on Poland over U.S. missile shield. That was on August 15th, a few days after the situation began to settle down in Georgia. Here's the headline of the New York Times. U.S. general was overruled in Kosovo. General Jackson rejected the order from a superior by saying, no, I'm not going to do that. It's not worth starting World War III. The last time NATO, who's spoiling for a fight with the Russians, tried to order attacks on Russians at their airbase that they'd been for, been since the World War II. So this is a replay of this. This is beyond Cuban Missile Crisis in my layman view, but I researched this deeply. This is really getting out of control. There's obviously the CIA director went there. They've got special ops from the people that I've talked to and mercenaries advising. There's all sorts of stuff going on. The Russians have been shooting down Ukrainian drones. There have been Russian columns getting destroyed. And Putin basically, said some of our troops have been captured. They'll be returned. And then the kids all laughed when he gave the speech. He was there talking to a youth group. So, I take from that, let's just be honest. There are Russian forces there protecting their interests, their gas fields that they put in, their pipelines, their military bases, their Black Sea base. Now, that's my little briefing because a lot of stations just joined us. We have a lot of news stations in L.A. and just joined us this week. I need to plug that news station. And Oklahoma City, and so many others. The broadcast is exploding. I wanted to give folks some background here. Ray, am I correct in my basic gestalt I tried to paint there? Can you elaborate on that? Is this getting as big or bigger in the Cuban Missile Crisis? Ray McGovern.
Well, it is, Alex, in the sense that never before have the U.S. and Russia been at such loggerheads. There's a little difference here. The missiles that we now know were ready to fire in Cuba, we didn't know it at the time, or a direct threat to our security. There's no way, Alex, there's no way anyone convinced me that what's going on in the Ukraine is a direct threat to our security. It is, however, a direct threat to what the Russians believe